Today, we're going to talk about attitude.
Talk about
Attitude.
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 I like that subject.
What is it? Is it
You see,
everything?
attitude, you must understand attitude this way. You might not be able to change the world, but you can be a change for the world. Follow this. I might not be able to change this world. There are racists, there is greedy people, there are people who don't care, no empathy, no compassion. This is the world we live in, right? Attitude is how I hold myself for the change I want to see in the world, right? Attitude is the altitude you choose to cruise in. Attitude is how you deliberately choose to hold yourself. I think that's how I would look at the word attitude. You can have a right attitude, you can have a wrong attitude. It all depends the altitude you want to fly in. I have seen enough people in my life teaching, working closely. The number one thing that ruins them is attitude. When the attitude is off, and attitude, I don't think is inherent. I'm not sure. You would talk to the scientist or Paul. I think attitude is a kind of internal discipline that is missing in most people. How would you say what attitude is?
Me? I think it's everything. I think your attitude in every situation is important. You can be in I've seen people in the most wonderful situations have the shittiest attitude and spoil it for everyone.
So, what is your definition of the word attitude?
It's your demeanor and your it's how you choose to behave in that situation, how you choose to understand the situation.
Or how you choose to respond? Could it be it is the altitude in which you choose to fly,
Yeah.
which means it's a personal responsibility.
Yeah. It is. It's your choice.
Yeah.
You can't choose your moods, but you can choose to indulge in them or not and have that affect your attitude.
So you're talking about the one quality we have for personal empowerment. One thing that you can actually do. Now we know scientists are saying, and I agree with them, you are born with a certain personality trait, you're born with so many things, it's predisposition, they're saying. You're born that way. It's almost, they said the amount of change you can bring to your personality and through your predisposition is like 5 to 10%. You have reading disorder, you have this difficulty. But one thing I suspect is up to you, is your attitude. So what we are talking about is personal empowerment. Your
Yeah.
personal empowerment. I think attitude is about personal power, which you have and you can do something about it.
No, and I think it's like almost like more important than your skill,
Yeah.
than anything else. We have a new person in the company now, and she's got a great attitude.
Right? Right?
And sometimes she makes mistakes, this and that. She's learning, but she has such a good attitude. It's okay. Let's come on. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
And you can see the difference when someone comes in with a good attitude versus people we've worked with in the past who've come in with this like, I guess I gotta do this. Da, da, da. It's like it's the rower mentality.
No, but I go one step deeper. Upshi. Could it be attitude is the level of energy you live by, internal? I think when your energy is low, you tend to slide, you tend to have grumpy, you tend to take on the lower attitude. So could the attitude be my internal altitude? And that I can control. My vigor of looking at life. Am I going to use the smallest thing to get sad? I think it's your inner fitness. When you have a very good attitude, you're fit for life. When you have a shitty attitude, you're unfit for life. And I think people are careless about it. I think you must work on your attitude. You must be corrected for your attitude. You must be held to live a certain attitude rightly. Isn't it?
Yeah. How do you think you can learn that? Like if I think about dance, right? You have to have a good attitude.
Right.
You got to be the star that day, or you are the one standing right at the back, no one can see you. You have to have the same attitude.
Right.
If not, you're not going to be successful.
So
But
what
you have
is
to
it?
learn that.
So is attitude a learned thing? A conscious thing? I think attitude comes from either I'm going to be affected or I'm going to be someone that is going to affect it. I think what can help you, Apshi, is what I put down is the 18 right. I'll talk about this first 6 right. And I think now when you're asking the question, I feel like the 6 right helps you to alter the state of your attitude rightly. The first, I'm not affected only. I can affect. 2, I can deal with facts. I can see things for what they are. I don't have to always make it how I want to see it.
Yeah.
3rd, at any one time, I don't forget that I have the right for a yes and no. I'm not a slave. I have free will. I can choose to whatever extent I can. 4th, I'll never be lazy. I'll tame the body. When I'm tired, I'll sleep, but I'll not use that as an excuse to be lazy. 5th, JM, I will live in victory. Personal victory. I will strive to conquer me. 6th, Arpanam. I will offer me to the world. I have a funny feeling when you're talking about attitude, these 6 rights moves in holding your right attitude. But in order to talk about attitude, I must say, I can have a shitty attitude too.
Yeah.
I cannot deny that. I can fall, but it doesn't mean I cannot wake up. The problem with people with bad attitude, when they fall, they make it them. This is how I am. And they force everybody to accept that.
Yeah.
Like you can be fit in life, or you can be unfit. You can do something to get fitter for certain. Or you can be unfit. It's up to you. And one to say, I don't have a choice in that is lying. Another point I'm saying, why people have shitty attitude? They want people to accept them despite. And there's a psychological note as though they feel loved by that.
Yeah.
Like if I take your nonsense, they feel loved. It's like if I lose, another person feel like he wins, even though he didn't win anything. So maybe attitude is addressing what is mine and mine alone to do. You understand?
Yeah. I mean, even if you think of the idea of just being hangry, right? I'm a hangry person and very hangry. So I always eat breakfast now before I leave the house.
Yeah.
Because I watched somebody else who was very hangry and horrible to be around when they were hangry. She would be mean. I'd be scared. Like if I got her a coffee, I got the wrong order, I'd be scared. I was like, ugh. Me being scared of you is not a sign of love, and your attitude sucks. And what did you eat? You have control over this.
Yeah, you see, that's why I love what you just said. You have control. So maybe attitude is either you have control over it or you're abusing it. So what is attitude? My decision to be the person I need to be given the situation. The scientists are saying a lot of things are beyond you. Your personality, like your agreeability and all that is beyond you. They have this big 5, big 7, big 9. They say, no, you're born. They're proving it. Assume they are right. I think they are. Right? So there are things that are beyond you, but how you address it. Once somebody come and say, I'm a bit shy, I don't express my feeling. I say, can you apologize? That's an attitude. Say, I should have said something. Apologize. You can learn to apologize. You can live your apologies. Sorry. Like somebody walks into a meeting late, you can say. Or you can.
But people also use their attitude, right, to assert power. I walk into the meeting and I'm going to act fucking pissed that there was traffic. Like, you're late. It doesn't matter that there was traffic.
And that person is declaring they don't have power. That person is wearing their weakness on the sleeve. That person is dying for you to call them out. That person is just question of time. And actually, it is an action of crying for help. No, please get rid of me. Again, I just don't focus on this. So, what is attitude? I think it's still the altitude I want to dwell in. I've seen people with talent didn't make it. I've seen people with no talent make it. I've seen the so-called the best miserably fail. And I've seen the so-called the last make it. And the only thing that changes this whole equation is attitude. The altitude that I want to cruise in. But I think you're touching one very beautiful point here, More than this being attitude, let's not pretend that you don't have the ability to cultivate a right attitude. You don't have to be stubborn. You don't have to play such a victim. It's the right parenting, right guruing, right discipline. If you don't have an attitude rightly, you are going to be abused by every hormonal change, everything that is happening within you. You don't have a navigation path. Now, if you ask this question, what is your attitude towards life? I would give you mine. No, not what happens to me, is how I happen to it. Yes, I was born
You're
fishing
so
village.
serious.
No. No. Whatever I was born with, whatever lack I had, is what happened to me. But watch me, how I happen to it. Watch how I respond to it. Watch how I hold myself to it. Someone who's loved held the truth they can be loved way before, they had the attitude for it.
How do you find that? Like, what's your attitude to it? Like, even if I think of it for myself, it's something like laughing, dancing.
No, what do you want out of life? You're talking about creation. What do you want out of life? You see, life is not happening to you only, you are happening to life. You can use everything to show the worst of you, or you can use everything to wake up to the best that can be.
What would you say my attitude to life is?
I think you have many great attitudes. I always say I'll pay money for you to come and hang out in our house. You are fun, you are amazing. But I also think one attitude, me being a dad, you consider people way too much at your fault. I think you have this mood, you come in and you want everybody to be happy. It's a beautiful attitude, but you know what you do? You nurse a lot of drillers around. Mm-hmm. I would like you to change that attitude. Not that I want you to be selfish. Don't be the wetness for drillers.
Because for me, I feel like my attitude is I just want to laugh, I want to smile, I want it to be easy. And if you guys are all being grumpy, can you guys be happy so I can be happy too?
Yeah. But you must understand, you are saying you want everything to be light, happy. It sounds like you just want to escape. No, you're not that person, You're not that person. You want everything to be in its finest. Because I can see you, how you clean the house, how you do your work. So what you're saying, my attitude is everything should reach to its peak, then we can be happy.
Yeah.
Extend that to others in your life too. Like around me, you watch everybody that is around are functioning at least in most time at their peak. I don't let them. And once they are functioning at peak, we all can smile and laugh because everything is happening.
Yeah.
But your attitude can twist to say, maybe I let it slide to remain happy. And I think you abuse yourself for it because you want to be happy. You do everything to reach to the peak. When you want to be happy with another, doesn't mean you let it slide.
Yeah.
It's like getting a boyfriend or a whatever relationship. Letting him slide does not mean a relationship.
Yeah.
Is to hold that person to be the kind of person that you can continue to love. Love is a promise if you will hold you right. Love is not a guarantee if you become an asshole. Like a lot of people do this, they will show great enthusiasm in the beginning, open doors and love you. And once they know they got you, they show the worst, right?
Yep.
The deal must be you good, me good. You no good, me no good for you.
And you would hope that the more and more they reveal themselves to you, the better it gets. Not like the worse it gets.
No, the worst it gets. They think they only feel love if you accept the worst of, if you accept the worst of them. I do not hang the worst painting on the wall. I hang the best painting on the wall. And then people say, oh, you are pressurizing me. Oh my God, I just want somebody to love me as I am. What are you talking about? You Freud?
But I guess that's where we have to, like, I guess that's why I want to inquire further, right? Because we are also human. We can also be grumpy. We can also be bitchy. We can be in bad moods, have a bad attitude. And we would still hope that our partner, our friends will love us in those moments.
But why are you using the word we are all human only on the worst context? We are human also when we are in the best context. People use this word, we are just human. What does that mean? What does that mean? That you are making the worst only being human? The best is not human? We are human. We will rise to beauty. We will rise. I'm not saying if somebody has seen your beauty, like I have good cars, I don't throw it away when there's a flat tire because it's a great car. Does the car sometimes misfunction? Yes. Only when the best is seen, the struggle doesn't appear like a struggle. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like as a baby, I carry you, you all pee on me. I don't throw you away because I know the best of you. I can deal with the pee. But you are giving an excuse to say, oh, you can be worst around me. I will make it better for you. That's a promise you can't make.
Yeah.
Like if you have a relationship, hold the person. Be the best you can be. Show me. Don't you dare quit that and then expect me to love you as the best you were before. I will understand when you have a flat tire. I understand when some days you don't start in the morning. I get it. But I love you because of that too. You follow?
Yeah. Yeah.
If not, you are having a wrong attitude. Oh, we are human. We mess up. No, we are human. We also build cathedral. We also build beautiful things. This notion, this attitude that somebody must love me at the worst of me. Do you know those days, Pataliva? When you study the king's scripture, the king's court, when you study Tantra and all that, the man will have his room, the woman will have a room. They have a room called the love room. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but you know what is it? Only when they both are in the best of shape, they meet in the room. They are not allowed to meet each other in the worst of. And you know why they did that? Because they want them to really love each other. Right now, you show the best to bring the person in, and then you show up with a mask that will scare any person. And then you think, I want you to love me. I want to show the real me. Oh, sorry, then I love somebody else. Is this the real you? I'm out. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, what is attitude? What is attitude here? One of the attitude you must have, hey, I'm with you because you're the best. I love so much about you. It doesn't mean I won't accept the difficulty that you are facing, but I'm with you because I thought this is what you are. Right? I have to get up, do my work, be the man I am. Whatever I have to do, your mother has to do, almost everybody has to do. Then you say, oh, then if I cannot do, will you not love me? No, if I've loved you because you can do this, and the day you can't do, of course I will love you. I'm grateful. You get what I'm saying? I'll keep my Bentley and my Rolls Royce even when they're old. I'll keep it somewhere. For sure, I'll take care of it as a memory. That's relationship. Now, see, right now, I'm showing you how do you deal with an attitude. Maybe your attitude is, I have to reduce me to make them feel better. Hey, Hey, maybe not. Do you know the day you are not you, what you receive should not be there for you because you received it, you being you. Follow? We have this thing, this insecurity that we think, maybe if I get horrible. So we force the other person to accept the worst of us and then we feel very secure. What kind of attitude is that? You think if you have done the best, held yourself to the highest and you struggle and someday you can't, you really think the other person is going to throw you? A bond has happened. You see, the best of you enriches me. And the day you can't be the best, that enrichment is here. I will not betray this. By that, I won't betray you. Now, what is the attitude? Our attitude is if you forgive, if you accept the worst of the person, that's when you love. Change that attitude. Hold that demand. If I love a Rolls Royce, a Bentley, a Ferrari, or something, why I love it? Because it's that car.
Because it's the best.
Because it goes 0 to 100 in speeds that I would not want to declare to the traffic police. Right? Now, then you say, oh, you only love me because I'm the best? If not, I'll love the neighbor. See the attitude. I'm showing you the attitude. I will tolerate as much, but I hold my children to lift that bar. They can fail. They are still my children, but they didn't quit.
There's a standard.
No, that's the attitude. Come on. It's not that I want you to do something I want you to do. I doubt you guys will ever do. Good for you. But what I'm saying is, how am I looking at it? Could attitude be the way I look at it? And maybe that's the power you and I have. The power to perceive something the way I choose to perceive it. And the way I want to look at it is it keeps the altitude, which determines my attitude. And can I say, attitude is the one power everybody has.
How do you not abuse it?
No, we human beings abuse everything. I'm telling you. As much as we have been innovative, you can say a lot of things about human beings. We are the most abusive creature. Maybe because our evolution is we are scavengers. So you are asking me how not to abuse it. I don't know how to tell you. All I can tell is we are an abusive character. Watch out. We abuse everything. We abuse the person who smiles. We abuse the person who's angry. We are like parasites. This earth would be better off without human being on it. It will become far more greener and more beautiful. So we are like a parasite. So what do we do about it? Let's hold an attitude. I hold you better. I know you have that, but act differently. It's me holding me and another to a value, a standard. We should comply. Do you know why? The best companies in the world, the most successful company are successful. Do you know the attitude they hold? Do you know the value they hold? Like military is one of the most well-organized, well-run system most often. Do you know the attitude? Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Showing up for duty, sir. They stand up. Like they say, the Nepalis, the Gurkhas, they're the best, soldiers, Anba. They're soldiers or something in the world. We have some of them working for us. I can see how. 2 o'clock in the morning, I go down. Sometimes I just walk down there to see the guard. He's like, good morning. I'm like, it's in the evening, but he's like, sir. I'm like, look at his attitude. He's showing up for duty. I am here. Attitude.
One video that I love, it's this little boy. His mom is pranking him for Christmas. She wraps an avocado and she puts it in his Christmas bag. He wanted a toy and all this. He goes and opens it. He looks at it. He's like, an avocado! He's so happy.
He's probably crying. Yeah, I love the avocado. Is that the attitude? What is his attitude? He more than receiving something, he wants to hold his mother well. That moment, even though a mother is giving him a gift, he is holding the attitude of being a gift to his mother. I heard this story, I don't know how, I don't know why it's just coming to my mind. It's like when the Robert F. Kennedy, right? Was running for president of the United States. He got shot, He got shot. And he was lying, dying. He grabbed and first thing he asked people, are everybody okay? Wow. I don't know how he is. I don't know his political affiliation. I just remember he got shot.
JFK.
No, not JFK. JFK couldn't say anything. His brother, when he was running, he was shot in the lobby, in the kitchen, when he was coming out. He dropped down and he held it and says, is everybody okay? I was like, wow. Wow. I've known a story of a man dying. And at the last minute, he's choking to death. He's holding his wife. I'm so sorry, darling. He is dying and he's telling his wife, I'm sorry. I can't hold on anymore. And he's dying. He's looking at his wife and say, I'm sorry, darling. Do you know what is his attitude? Not the, oh my God, I'm dying. He's like, oh my God, this is human being. This is what you and I are. We are a species that has the capacity to dictate our altitude.
Yep.
And that translates as our attitude.
Do you think that your attitude, like, it's sort of like carved out in you from when you're a kid,
I
right?
think so.
And like, you know how some people, like, you can see that they try to push past the selfish attitude,
Right.
that kind of attitude that was put into that. How do you sort of change it for yourself?
I don't know. These things you have to talk to therapists, you have to work at it. But I tell you something, like that day I asked someone, what is it about your father you didn't agree? Oh, this, I didn't agree. So I guess everything else you accepted, didn't you? And that father, a bit of an asshole, a bit of a selfish fellow, abandoned them. He said, I didn't agree with this, but did you accept everything else? So attitude is borrowed. Children imitate. We copy. If the parents are racist, the child going to be racist. He didn't even know how it became. So attitude is very contagious. It's very simple. You go to a normal shops, you don't queue up. But you go to the bank, you queue up. You go to a good restaurant, you queue up. Right? You go to the night stall, you just bump all over everybody, like every man for himself. So what is attitude? It has to be consciously I'm holding myself, not simply accepting. Remember this, you can agree, disagree with somebody. You can, but the amount of thing unsaid that you accepted. Like I was in Vancouver, some disciples were there, and I was eating with my hand, and they all were looking at me funny. I'm like, what? What? They're like, hey, we eat with fork and spoon. I'm like, hey. Did you think at home he took a class to have that reaction against someone who's eating with his hand? No, that's all he knows. He said, I thought you were playing with food, master. I'm like, yeah, in a way, I suppose. Do you think he premeditated and thought about it? We are made to accept things that we probably didn't consciously choose to accept. But what attitude has is, it has a conscious component. Now, what do you choose to be? What is the attitude you must have to be that person? What is the altitude you want to fly? It's like this, Somebody buys a car, and I watch them how happy they get. If they get overly happy, that's the altitude. I always say, not yet a Ferrari, so hold some happiness for Ferrari. Good, you have a nice car, be happy, but still a long way to go, son. And if you have one Ferrari, hold some happiness. There's also Aston Martin.
Aston Martin.
Aston Martin, yeah, Aston Martin. There's so many other cars that yet to be bought. So can you see your altitude? So I'm saying attitude is personal power.
Attitude also seems like a standard.
Yes, madam. Now set the standard for yourself and for everyone around. Hold that standard. lot of people in the name of rest and don't want to be stressed and don't want to be this, they want to drop and they just want to let go. Like I've seen people abuse this encountering training and the psychology. I want to get in touch with my raw. Sometimes I say, please don't puke somewhere else. Like I want to go wild. Please, you will not survive in the wild. There's a lot of things people use to be lazy to hold an attitude. Like if you go into a temple, there's almost a quorum that you must hold. There's a, you have to be vegetarian, you have to be this, you have to be that, you have to do this, do that. You might not have that in a casino. So now, let's finish it this way. Attitude is your personal choice of the altitude you want to live out. Yes, madam?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.